Oh, where does this all fit in? Where does that all fit in? Land of black gold, land of black gold. It seems there's nothing in these drawers. No artifacts, no photographs. Looks like I have to go through the story just like that. In 1948, Hergé set about reworking and continuing a story that he had to interrupt in 1940 because of the German invasion. Land of Black Gold. By that time, he couldn't dare to portray a German as a villain under the Nazis, and now that was possible again. However, he had to adapt the story due to a few changed situations. The world is on the brink of a new war. At the same time, someone is sabotaging the gasoline reserves of the Western world. The gasoline is spoiled and causes engines to explode unexpectedly. While Thomson & Thompson suspect a company behind it that makes its money by towing and repairing cars, Tintin has another suspicion. He goes on a journey to the emirate of Sheikh Ben Kalish Etzab in search of the cause that leads him to Kemkar. There he meets an old foe, Dr. Müller, and he gets to know the Sheikh himself and his unforgettable son, Abdallah. The story was originally written before The Crab with the Golden Claws, and thus before Tintin met Haddock. And it was just not possible to simply integrate the captain into the plot of Land of Black Gold. The adventure begins with Tintin hiring as a radio operator on an oil tanker. It would have simply been impossible to include Haddock here, who is a captain after all. So Hergé used a trick. At the very beginning of the story, Tintin receives a call from Haddock. Because of the possible war, Haddock was drafted into the navy and has to command a ship. The background of an imminent war confused me a bit as a young reader. Of course, the original story was about World War II, which had already started at the time and was only waiting for some allies to enter the conflict. The war in this story, however, remains a bit vague. The headlines that Tintin reads in the newspaper only speak of war, but not between what states. In the middle of the story, the reporter finally hears a radio report that the danger of war has been averted. At about the same point where Hergé had to interrupt the story for the first time in 1940 is also the point where the story finally gets an easier kick after being rather dark in the beginning. The original concept of the story was that the spoiled gasoline should stop the opponent's army. But now the background is, just like in the Arumbaya fetish, the battle of two opposing oil companies. Hergé deals with Haddock's part almost mischievously. Instead of making up a long-winded explanation for his absence and sudden appearance at the end of the story, he makes it very short. When Haddock is drafted into the navy at the beginning, Hergé didn't even bother to name the captain's ship. He just says XY, the name must be kept secret. And the author turns his reappearance at the end into a running gag. Whenever Haddock wants to tell Tintin how it comes that he turns up so unexpectedly, he's interrupted by the events of the story. Overall, the story was no increase compared to the double volume 7 Crystal Balls and Prisoners of the Sun, but Hergé had reached a certain level. He should not fall under that level in future, although he came up with some ideas that some would call strange. Okay, I must go downstairs to the storage of the museum and see if I can find some artifacts there. I haven't found an artifact for this story, and the next one will be a bit difficult, I think, too. No, this is all amazing and very old stuff, but what I need is something from the moon. Like Huh. Ah, no. This is not an astronaut suit. This is a diving suit. Well. But wait. Where does this door lead?